Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday Build. This is episode 1.7, and today we'll be discussing the topic generosity as a business strategy. Authentic generosity invites genuine loyalty. Today we'll be featuring Thinkific, HubSpot, Vimeo, Softer, their competitors, and Cake. My name is Brittany Hernandez. As you may know, my friend calls me B, and my dad and my uncle call me Peanut Brittle. I'm from San Diego, but I'm based in London. I am a veteran. I served on active duty in the United States Coast Guard for 4 years, where I earned my GI Bill and used my GI Bill to go to law school, after which I became an intellectual property and entertainment lawyer based out of California. And I had some money left over for school from my GI Bill, so I decided to get a master's degree in London, where I got a master's degree in international film business, during which I did a dissertation where I talked about how you could utilize technology to increase access to legal services for early career filmmakers as well as film students, while still paying lawyers at competitive rates. This made it to where I was introduced to Kate Ho, who was at the time the CPTO of Vala, and I became her business development executive. I also later, after that contract was over, became a pro builder or a Gavel expert, where I utilized no-code and low-code techniques and tools in order to create automations for other lawyers using Gavel, which is formerly Documate. I did really well in that role with Gig Law, so I was actually invited by Gavel, which I'm so grateful for, to become their global ambassador to law schools, which is my main thing outside of my own products and tools and demonstrations and academy. And I focus on their outreach to different schools, as well as performing different workshops for different schools. And I also am the program director and senior instructor for the Law Students in Legal Tech Access to Justice Fellowship Program. And today we just started our week 5 out of 12 of our certification course, before we take a quick break to go on to our hackathon competition in late April, early May. I'm also the creator and host of the Lightning Talks for Legal Innovators series in partnership with Gavel, which is a once a month series, and also this series, which is once a week, called the Wednesday Build. I'm also the creator of a free interactive digital magazine, which comes out with new issues every Tuesday, called Codeword Hex. And I'm the founder, course creator, and senior instructor of Chromium Academy, which has courses on Gavel, as well as Softer, Airtable, Go Full Page, and more. So let's get into the topic for today. Today, we're going to be doing a kind of pros and cons, comparison and contrast type of thing between Thinkific versus Kajabi, HubSpot versus Pipedrive, Vimeo versus Loom, and Softer versus Bubble, and why I chose the former in each case over the latter, and what that has to do with generosity as a business strategy, and what I've noticed about why I'm loyal to certain brands due to this particular point about I feel they are generous more so than their competitors. And that's all about how they are incentivizing their customers. That's all about whether I feel they understand me or not as a consumer, and my purchasing decision habits, and how I go about my thought process and my particular style as I approach different tools. So we'll talk about each in turn, starting with Thinkific and Kajabi, and then move on to each one in turn. So a quick note is that when I was thinking about this, what I realized is that the brands I'm loyal to understand that I want a piece of cake and I'd like to eat it too, before I'll buy the other 5 slices and tell my friends about how yummy they all are. They also realize and understand and know that there's only one hero in this story, and I'll go into the story brand script, which I've mentioned before, and that I want a 1/4 inch hole, not a 1/4 inch drill, which has to do with and relates to the jobs to be done framework and a quote by a Harvard professor. So we're going to go through these each in turn, and I'm just going to pull up some different links. I'm just going to quickly pull up this story brand script that we can refer to later on. And then also this jobs to be done, 1/4-inch hole example. And we'll start with, as I said, this conversation around why I would choose to go with Thinkific over Kajabi and what that has to do with generosity as a business strategy, and this idea that authentic generosity invites genuine loyalty, and how they understand me better as a customer than Kajabi does. So I first heard about Thinkific, which is a way to monetize and sell your courses, monetize your expertise, and create different courses. So there are many different platforms out there, including things like Kajabi, Teachable, there's one called Podia, and there's so many millions of other ones as well. And I'll tell you that I was doing a lot of research around different ones, and I was trying to understand which one was the best platform and spent a lot of time thinking about it. And I ended up listening to this book on Audible called Ultimate Course Formula. And I read it all the way through twice. And because it's not very long, it's only 3 hours and it's less than 4 hours. And it's by Iman Agay. And so he recommends that you use Thinkific. So I kind of took a look at it, and he gives you his own affiliate link. So that was actually what got me started into Thinkific. And the reason why I ended up going with this particular one over other ones is because of this notion that they were generous. So I'll point out how I thought that and why in just a moment. So the first point is to kind of flag that I found out about them through this means and what they are, but to kind of talk a little bit about their competitors. So before I show you more about them and talk about them, why I chose one over the other. So in contrast to Thinkific, but also similarly, Kajabi is also a way for people to monetize their expertise through courses and scale their businesses. So there are, as I said, many different things, but as I was personally going through and looking at pricing, features, and so on, the thing is that, and I understand like from a business perspective, why one does one over the other, but I'll tell you why Thinkific won my business and I pay them rather than Kajabi. Kajabi does not have a free plan, and their free trial is only for 14 days. In contrast, Thinkific does have a free plan that is one that you could create a single course and have lots of different things. You can have a course, a community, 2 spaces per community, 1 administrator, unlimited student, 0% transaction fee, and email and chatbot support. Additional features are 100% ownership of content, drag and drop course builder, easy to use website themes, fully integrated e-commerce, app store, course quizzes and surveys, Thinkific free academy course, everything that you would need in order to actually start one course. You have a free plan. You also have the ability, and what I've noticed about the way Thinkific does this is, as I mentioned in Ultimate Course Formula, they gave me their affiliate link. So I was actually able to access Success Road Academy's affiliate link, which is for 90 days of a free trial of their most popular plan. Now, by contrast, there's no free plan for Kajabi, and their free trial is only for 14 days. Now, when I saw that, I was like, it's taking me 12 weeks to develop the course that I'm currently making for the fellows, for the law students in legal tech, Access to Justice Fellowship. There is absolutely no way that I could create and test an idea that would eventually end up bringing me any money for many months later. So I would have to start paying for something that I'm like kind of half building, not sure if I'm even going to use this, trying to figure out the features, trying to figure out how to build my website. By the time I'm even done building my website or anything, I'm starting to have to pay $119 a month. So So it's actually more likely in this case that I'm not going to even try this particular plan, especially when you have people who are giving me 90 days for free with at least similar enough features. So 0% transaction fee, maybe you get more products, but maybe I only need to start with one, 3 funnels, unlimited landing pages, limited marketing emails, 10,000 contacts, 1,000 active customers. So in other words, on our free plan in Thinkific, we get unlimited customers, unlimited students. We get one admin and one website. So when you just side by side compare these, just from that standpoint of the free plan versus the basic plan and just the free trials, Thinkific wins. And also, if you think about how much time they give for their affiliates from the Thinkific perspective, where Success Rose Academy was authorized to have a link that allows for 90 days on a free plan, which has also appeared in other places, such as with Saley Barclay, who did an 8-week free course in partnership with Thinkific that I did, that also had a 90-day free plan attached to it as well for the Pro Plus Growth, which at the time was, they kind of changed these up a little bit. So it would be this kind of bigger plan, which is the one that I currently have. And I got their highest plan because I was so floored by how generous they are with, and also how much they understood my way of making a purchasing decision about this type of thing. So by contrast to the 90 days that you can get for free using an affiliate link, Kajabi only gives their affiliates a 30-day free trial extension for their links. So from the main website, you can start for free for 14 days. Through an affiliate, you can get an extended trial that goes for 30 days. But Thinkific allows you to have 90 days. And if you don't like it or aren't using it, they have a free plan for you to fall back to, rather than you either having to completely cancel everything and lose all of your content or get charged $119 plus per month, with Kajabi. So if we also look at how expensive the differences are, the basic plan for Kajabi, they have 3. We have basic, growth, and pro. And then you have enterprise and so on. But Thinkific has a completely free plan where you can have tons of different things that are all very valuable. That could be just enough for what you need anyway when you're just starting out. They have a basic plan that's $36 a month that includes all of these different features, which the basic plan here starts at $119, and we're talking about $36 a month. Then you have the start, which is at $74, and the Kajabi's next plan is at $159. And then at grow, you have $149, so you see this is 0, 36, 74, and $149. And their pro plan here is $319 a month billed annually, but monthly it's $399. So it's just kind of, I understand, and a lot of people kind of, when I was looking this up and sort of looking at YouTube videos and stuff, they're talking about like how many features are in Kajabi and how it saves you having to kind of integrate with other tools and so on. But actually, like, I have all of my courses on Thinkific, and there are plenty of features to keep you busy for a while to be able to utilize all that's within your plan. I can get unlimited courses, 3 communities, 20 spaces per community, 2 administrators, unlimited students, 0% transaction fees, phone and priority email support, and all of the start features, and like no Thinkific branding, bulk student emailer, bulk enrollments, API access, advanced courses, and so on for $149 a month. That is perfectly fine. And I was able to spend 90 days without having to pay, being able to test out all of these different features, creating a community, testing it out in the real world, creating a mini course, like seeing if it works, scrapping bad ideas, coming in with new ideas. It gave me time to try things that I wouldn't even try in Kajabi because the time limit was too small. So that's just one kind of thing about the differences in understanding me as a consumer and how I use the product and what time frame I need to feel calm enough to actually utilize the tool and all of the amazing things that it has to offer me. Another cool thing about Thinkific is their educational resources. So when you do sign up for a plan on Thinkific, they actually also give you, let me just close out of some of these. They actually also give you like a get ready to launch course, which is pretty cool. So it doesn't show here because I actually did use it. So it looks like this if you have already finished it, but it looks different if you haven't. So let me see if I can go back to my other one, because I have a couple of different ones where I tested it out, tried something and so on. So they have this kind of on your way to success, sort of like how to create your first course, getting started type of thing. So they work you through like getting started, you're making your plan, creating your course and launching your course. And there are different videos and there's different resources. And I will say I actually did use this. I just used it in my first one. So I went through and I read everything. I watched the videos. I listened to all of what they were saying. And they actually have done a really good job with these resources. They've also made it to where their blog is quite good. So let me just find their blog, which understands a point that I would like to underscore. Let me just see. I can grab it. So how to create and sell online courses, free guides. Amazing. Top EdTech trends for 2023. I actually did read this as well, which goes into a little bit about sort of like micro learning as being a big trend for this year. 8 steps to building a successful online course business, business plan templates, 11 best free online course platforms, etc., and so on. And I've actually read several of these articles and have found all of them to be quite useful. So I really feel that Thinkific has understood me as a consumer, my needs as a consumer, and my end goal as a consumer, and how I make purchasing decisions around this type of product. So one of the things that I mentioned in here is that the brands I'm loyal to understand that I want a piece of cake and I'd like to eat it too. And that's referring to I'd like to have a slice of what you're offering, and I'd like to be able to consume it in its entirety before you try to sell me anything else, because I need to be able to try it on, taste it, see if I like the texture, see if I like the color, see if I like how it makes me feel, how does it make my body feel? Am I getting an allergic reaction to it? And so on. So you can kind of relate this to this idea of wanting our cake and eating it too. So Thinkific understands that I need time, especially with course creation, to try things out. And that if I'm serious about course creation, by the end of that 90 days, I will need to upgrade, because I will have wanted to make another course and I only get one on the free plan, which is still amazing. But maybe I get a bug for it because I'm starting to get really great responses, or maybe I want another community, or I want to create membership options or whatever else. So they understand that it takes longer than 14 days or 1 month to create a website using the tool, create a course using the tool, launch that course and build awareness around the tool, start to make money, and so on. So I feel like there's a lot there that was missed by a company like Kajabi. And they also understand that before I'll buy it, I want to eat it and try it and tell my friend, and before I buy the other 5 slices, for example, which is that sell me on the smallest thing you have first, let me try it and consume it and see how it fits on me. Then I will kind of dabble into the other slices or buy them all at once. And then if I love it, I will stand here as I am right now on my own platform and tell other people about it because it's so amazing. So that is how it works. And that is what I love about how they've understood me. They have also realized this idea around StoryBrand BrandScript, which is a marketing a way to clarify your messaging around business and marketing and sort of selling, and just sort of a way of conceptualizing this, which comes from StoryBrand Script, which I have mentioned before, and comes from Donald Miller. And he kind of talks about how all stories break down to these 7 points. A character with a problem meets a guide who gives them a plan and calls them to action that results in success or failure. So the way that he describes this in StoryBrand Script, which is also on Audible, let me see. Building a Story Brand is what it's called, by Donald Miller. This book is amazing, and I highly, highly recommend it. He basically says customers aren't looking for another hero, they're looking for a guide. So instead of positioning your brand as in kind of competition for the hero spot with the end consumer, you're positioning yourself as the guide in their story. So I think that Thinkific does this really well, especially in their blogs, and especially if you notice that kind of creating your first course, they're not saying when you encounter them, we're so amazing and like we have all these amazing features and we're like so amazing and cool. What they're saying is, you're so amazing. We would love to help you get the expertise that's in your mind into a monetized course. Let me teach you how to do that, and I will guide you every step along the way. So they've really understood this concept, but I don't feel that same way with Kajabi. So I won't even give them my money from the start. So I won't even give them my email address from the start, because I don't think that they've understood me as a consumer. So it's just a lesson that even if their platform was feature-wise more or better, I'm perfectly happy to stay with Thinkific and be loyal to them, because I feel that they're generous, and I feel that they've understood me and they've understood this concept about business. And I trust them more with my money and my growth and their growth, that they're going to be around long enough to have all my content be safe, because they are smart business people, and I can tell. And I do pay for that product every single month. So the other part is, I want a 1/4 inch hole, not a 1/4 inch drill. This concept comes from this idea of jobs theory. Jobs theory is kind of it's such a smart way of approaching things, and it's such a smart way to think about business. And what is said here by Theodore Levitt is, people don't want a 1/4 inch drill, they want a 1/4 inch hole. So instead of saying something like I said before about a company saying or talking to me in a way that's like, we have all these features on our drill, you're able to push it really easily, you're able to, change out the heads really easily, you're able to, I don't know, it has a quieter hum than other drills. When it's very like product driven, I don't actually care. All I need is for there to be a hole in my wall so I can do whatever it is I'm trying to do, or a hole in a board. The point is that it doesn't matter what tool it is, as long as it gets the job done in the fastest and most accurate way possible, better than the competition. And as you can see, I was actually able to do that same application with Thinkific, in that I said, I'm actually going to be able to accomplish what I want faster, because I can go on a free plan or a 90-day plan right away, rather than feeling all of this pressure to get every millions of things done within 14 days of my idea. That's too short. I would even argue that 30 days is too short. So having the ability to have a 90-day plan and a free forever plan on Thinkific is why they've won my business over maybe a fancier or more expensive or premium type of thing as Kajabi. So that is my point about the difference between Thinkific and Kajabi, and why I went to one over the other. And all of my courses are fine. So there wasn't any kind of decrease in quality or ability, I'm able to do every single thing that I want to do. I'm able to tell people about it using the website builder. I'm able to collect payments using the payment feature. I'm able to put on pre-order. I'm able to email all of my students at once. I'm able to track my affiliates, have affiliates, and I'm able to build a community. I have everything I need, so I'm fine. The next one I want to go over is HubSpot versus Pipedrive and why I chose one over the other. I was looking for, personally, I have, my particular business model is very different in that I focus specifically on kind of a couple of different channels. So I focus specifically on serving Gavel, who is my client in their law school program. And then I have my Cormam Academy students and servicing them. And so my sort of idea around CRM was really more, was less in this particular like very structured way, such as needing a HubSpot or a Pipedrive, because I just have like kind of my things that I do and then the things I do for Gavel. And then within that, I have like students, which are all housed within Thinkific. So I didn't really have a need for this at first. And then as I was creating the course for the Law Students in Legal Tech Fellows, the Law Students in Legal Tech Access to Justice Fellowship, I realized that they would need a CRM. So in that particular case, I was looking for different tools that might be able to accomplish this. When I worked at Vala, we had Pipedrive initially, and I got to kind of play with the tool and kind of understand how it works and whether I liked it or not, and so on. And then we moved everything over to a different platform and, utilized a different tool. So I was familiar with Pipedrive, and I kind of thought that they had a free plan. And then when I was doing some research for the fellowship to try to find one that the students could use without having to pay, I was surprised to see that they don't have a free plan. You can try it for free for 14 days without having to put in any credit card information, which is pretty cool. But it's not very useful for me because I needed the students to be able to have something that they could use for free past the life of the course. So I actually did not go with Pipedrive for the very reason that they do not have a free plan that I could recommend to the students who would have then put all of their content into this tool and used it long-term, possibly in their future careers. So I was looking for other tools that I started to use different search terms, completely free, 100% free, CRM tool, et cetera, and realized that HubSpot, which is something that I'm more familiar with some of my other clients and what they use, is that HubSpot has a 100% free CRM that has several features that are amazing and quite generous. So for example, you could do quite a lot with the free HubSpot plan and not have to worry about and only start to pay for things as needed along the way. So this is the free version of HubSpot. So I'm able to have contacts that have, this is just a demo one anyway, but I can see this person, I can assign tasks, I can assign this person to myself, I can log all these different things, I can email this person, I can go into my conversations, I can have my centralized inbox where my settings are linked to my email address or to other different means. So if you connect a channel, for example, you have all of these different options, connect it to a form, you can connect it to Facebook Messenger and so on, all for free. You're also able to create things like snippets, create templates. You can have marketing, you can create emails, you can create landing pages, you can create a website, you can create a blog. You can see that there are points along the way that you would need to upgrade, which is completely fair. Like, this is such a robust system that it's fair that at some point you would need to pay for something. So I'm able to create different HubSpot forms. I think it limits you on certain numbers, like maybe you're able to do like 5 or something like that. But if you're just starting out, and especially for someone who's like a solopreneur, it's really useful to have so many different options. You're able to track your deals as you would in Pipedrive, the same way, with this sort of drag and drop from a different status. You can customize these different board stages. You can see your total amount for each stage. This is my demo account, so it doesn't have any real data. But you can see that you can create tasks. You can see what's due today, what's overdue, what's upcoming, all of them, etc. You can do different filters. We can take off the assignee, for example, or add one. You can make different tickets or track tickets. For automations, those would be paid, but you're also able to look at reports and have different dashboards and so on. So it's kind of amazing because you really get the look and feel and tools of the full plan. And I think you get up to like 1 million contacts or something. Let me just double check on that. I think I saw that somewhere. Let me just see. So if we look at, where is it? Well, let's just see. You're able to just kind of see all these different things, but I saw somewhere that you can have up to 1 million contacts. So you're definitely able to utilize all of these amazing features and get familiar with the tool. And the difference between this and Pipedrive is I'm not even going to do the free trial of Pipedrive because I don't know within 14 days whether I'm going to want the tool. And so I don't want to have to cancel it or do anything else. So it's definitely such a barrier to have no free option at all. If you could just limit it, make it to where certain features like HubSpot has done here, make it some sort of like limited version where you get sort of this concept of like a queue, craving, a response, and reward. So you have in like Atomic Habits, for example, there is an application to business here, and that has to do with, it has to do with, let me just pull up Atomic Habits for Business. There's like a website, how to apply this to business. Let me just see if there's one from James Clear. There's like a kind of like a cheat sheet version of this where you can apply it to business. But either way, the point is that part of what he says in the cheat sheet version about business is around creating a craving. So I think that here we go. Queue, craving, response, reward. And you can kind of see these at play in business. So what you've seen here in HubSpot with my version here is that I have a craving to utilize the automations, for example. And it says, oh, you're going to actually need to upgrade for that particular one, but you can have a free 14-day trial of that feature. So it segments it in a really nice way where you can actually have a very robust and useful tool in its entirety, in a way, with just a couple of things here and there that you would need to upgrade to, but you get to try them out before you buy them. So I think that that's a really, really smart and generous way to conduct business. So I trust HubSpot more than someone like Pipedrive because it makes me feel less stressed out about it. It makes me feel less stressed about what they're dealing with as well. When I think about Pipedrive, I'm like, if they need me to turn around and pay within 14 days, like, are they doing okay? And I know it doesn't seem like that reasonable for me to be thinking about that or care about it, but it makes me feel more calm and assured that HubSpot is okay, sort of like financially, that they're able to support us having free CRMs for a while with only upgrading after we're ready. It's kind of like when you're dating and someone's like super desperate for you to go out with them and like really grabby and pushy about getting a kiss or like having a sleepover or whatever, versus someone who's like, that's cool, like take your time, let me know when you're ready, or whatever else. It just feels like less aggressive and it feels more calming to me, is how I would describe it. I don't feel as anxious about trying their tool and trying their solution if they're not being so aggressively pushing, making me say like, tell me when you're going to go on my next date with me. For example, like, yeah, like on a first date and you're halfway through your bread and somebody says, when can we go out again? And you're just like, whoa, guy, like I haven't known you for 5 seconds, versus someone who allows you to get through your entire dinner. And then at the end says, I had a really lovely time. I think you're amazing. I would love to see you again. No pressure, but if you feel the same way, you have my number. That's what HubSpot is doing here. They're saying, hey, we have this great tool. I think I'm amazing. I think you're amazing. I think what you're doing is awesome. I would love to take you out to dinner and, order whatever you'd like. There's a couple things that I can't quite afford. But if you would like them, maybe we can go half, something like that. So it just feels like the person is more generous with their time and their patience. And this company is being more generous and understanding me as a consumer to say, this person might need a little bit of time to figure out this tool and figure out how it fits within their plan. So why don't we give them the entire thing for free with just a couple of things limited? They can see how this all operates together rather than in isolation. And we can create a craving for that consumer to upgrade because they'll love this tool so much and we have so much confidence in it that eventually they will upgrade in the future or need to add other team members or whatever the case may be. And I'm willing to pay for somebody who understands me that way personally. So that is a little bit about HubSpot. Another one I'd like to compare and contrast is Vimeo versus Loom. So personally, I love Vimeo and I pay for it because I came in on a free plan for one specific reason. The reason is they have a free plan, so does Loom, but their free plan allows unlimited recordings at unlimited lengths. Whereas by contrast, Loom has a free plan, but they only allow 25 videos per person and they can only be 5 minutes long. My videos are like an hour long or whatever. So I would immediately have to upgrade without really getting to like try out the tool as much as I wanted to, or to delay it for as long as possible before I would have to upgrade. So as you can see, when you go to Vimeo.com and you go to their pricing, you can see that they have these different paid plans, starter, standard, advanced. And the way that it's set up, it doesn't look like there is a free plan, but there is. If you read here, it says start a free trial for, let's say start free trial for, I think it's, I think you get 14 days. Let me just see. Yeah, 7-day trial. But if you read what it says is start a free trial or get started with our free plan. So if you click on free plan, you just join with Google or join with your email, and then that's it. You can get in and you have access to like an incredible amount of tools. And also you have Vimeo Record, this tool here, which allows you, just like Loom, to do a screen recording, a camera recording, or both. And you're able to use that super easily. Let me go back where I was before. So that's just to say, like, there is definitely something to the idea of understanding how your customers make purchasing decisions around your type of software. Here you can see, is the free plan just a free trial? Nope. The free plan is perfect for individuals who want to join our amazing community, but who might not be uploading tons of videos each week. If that sounds like you might never pay a dime for Vimeo. Businesses and creators often upgrade their plan because they find they want to store more videos, customize their player, have more privacy options, or access more marketing tools. For example, the reason why I upgraded was that I was using it for free for a long time. And it was only recently that I found some aspect of it that I wanted to be able to upgrade. And that was around the ability to integrate with things like MailChimp and like to be able to add sort of like a email form at the end of a video. So as soon as it ends, or you can put it throughout the video at whatever point. So I wanted to be able to add that at the end of my videos. So that was the only reason why I upgraded. So but I used it for free successfully for quite a long time before I did. So they had the patience and understanding of me as the consumer to wait until I was ready to go on that second date. With Loom, personally, I don't like that I'm limited to 5 minutes. There is never going to be a situation where I'm able to talk for less than 10 minutes, less than 30 minutes. I actually don't even think there's ever been a time where I could talk for less than 30 minutes. So it's not actually useful to me to have a 5-minute limit, especially if their competitor, Vimeo, allows me to talk for as long as I want to and record for 2 hours if I want to. The other difference being up to 25 videos per person versus at the time, I think it was unlimited, but I don't know if there's a limit now, but unlimited screen recording, you can see the differences here, unlimited videos, etc. So I just feel that Vimeo is more generous in the way that they have allowed me to access their home. They let me just sort of like walk into their home and like look around and like open the drawers and like try on their clothes and like try on the perfume and like put on the lipstick and like, I don't know, it just feels like I was able to like walk into their backyard and like pet their dog. And for me, that's how I visualize and like experience the purchasing journey, is how generous are you as a host? Because if you view yourself as a host, you can think of your customers as your guests. And if they were going to sort of like, let's say you have someone over, if they wanted to, so they're allowed to kind of like come in, walk around as much as they want. If they say, oh, I love your Louis Vuitton purse, I would love to have it, then you're not going to be like, sure, like take it. You're going to be like, I would love to negotiate with you on if I haven't really been using it as much, but I do really love it and I've had it for a long time and it's worth a lot of money. If you would like to take it home with you and take it outside of this room, then if you could, let's negotiate a price. And then we negotiate a price, and whatever it comes down to a fair price between the two of us based on each of our mutual needs at that time, then there's an exchange that's made and there's a value exchange. One person values the money more than the purse, and on the other side, the other person values the purse more than the money. So there is an exchange that has occurred. And as I said, these are all things I've paid for now, except for HubSpot yet, because I'm still pretty like small, you could say, in the number of things that I need. But eventually I'm sure that I will, because I appreciate what they've done. And I can see where I would want to use the upgraded features. So I pay for Thinkific, I pay for Vimeo, and I pay for their highest plans, I believe. I think I have this advanced one. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not enterprise because it's just me, but I have come in on their free plans. I used them for a long time before I paid for it, but I did eventually pay for it and I paid for their highest plan. So they did, their sales funnel worked for me. As I mentioned, it's nothing against these companies like Loom and Kajabi and sort of Pipedrive and stuff. They're all sort of trying to be helpful. They're trying to solve a problem for people. I just don't feel like they understand me personally as a customer, or the types of things that I would need and when I would pay for something and my incentive for paying for something, or why I would choose to purchase something. So I just don't feel understood by them. And I don't think that their model is wise. So, and I don't think that they're being generous. I don't think it's generous to limit someone to 5 minutes. And I don't think it's generous to limit to someone to 25 videos. So I personally won't pay for Zoom or Loom if I can avoid it. I do have my business partner who does like Loom, for example, who I pay for the plan for us to have it. So it's not fair to say that I don't pay for Loom, but I would have preferred that we used Vimeo over Loom personally. So I pay for both actually, but I don't personally use our paid plan on Loom. I only bought it for her to be able to use. So it's just one of those things where I want to feel like the company I'm giving my money to understands who I am, understands my needs, and has put in the work and the market research to understand who I am and what I need and what I want and what I will pay for and when. And so that's what I see when I look at things like Thinkific and companies like HubSpot and companies like Vimeo, is they understand me. The last one I'll go over is the difference between Softr and Bubble. So I absolutely love Softr. It's just sort of like as a concept, as a company, as a building tool. I think it's, next to Gabble in my favorite tools of all time, which also is relating to sort of just their concept, like their philosophy. So I watched the no code conference in Paris from last year virtually. And the company's CEO, Miriam Hakobian, she is amazing and brilliant. And I highly recommend just like following everything she does. She kind of talked about this concept of democratizing software engineering genius. And I think that's in there. It's somewhere in here. I'll just see if I can find it. Software engineering genius. Let me see. Want a mission to democratize software development. So it says, our mission is to democratize engineering genius and empower 99% of the world who can't code to create custom apps for their business or life. Brilliant. Like that's such a brilliant philosophy and mission. And I just love that because that's how I felt. And I'm not calling myself like an engineering genius or something, but I do feel like after I discovered things like Gabble, Softr, and like other no code types of tools, that I was able to better take the ideas that are in my head and put them into the real world, like to actually create them without having to learn how to code. I actually like to learn how to code anyway, just because I just personally like understanding what's going on under the hood. But at the same time, I'm just going to see if they had that line somewhere here. Yeah, this one. So I just personally like to learn how to code and take courses on it, but I also recognize the speed and efficiency of no code as a base, and then customizing along the way. So what's amazing about Softr as well is, one, they have a free plan, and two, their free plan is pretty powerful, and three, they actually allow you to publish your app and actually test it in the real world before you do anything else. You can just like have that for free anyway. You get 5 workspace collaborators, 1 custom domain, even essential blocks, and unlimited apps and visitors for free. Now, you also can have a 30-day free trial, 30-day free trial for any of the plans. So I already have one here, you can see, but after my trial ends, I will be having probably the professional one. There's one that I just need, I need like 3, or maybe it's this business one. So I need 3 custom domains for mine because I have my retreat one on here, I have my personal one on here, and I have one for my Chromium Academy stuff on here. So I needed 3 custom domains. So I'll be on this business one. And it just, for me, I came in on the free plan. I've tried the free trial, and I just think that they're very generous to have it to where you can have your own custom domain. So you can have your main website on a free software plan. It would say made with software if you didn't pay for it, but if you don't mind that, then that's fine too. But you have a working app or working website that you can make for free, which is so cool. The difference between software and Bubble, to me, lies in one particular thing. I cannot publish the app that I make. So, for example, if I have this test that I was just like, I just got into Bubble to try it because I've heard about it a lot. And I didn't even spend time to even try using it because of this button here. It says upgrade Bubble version. So your application is not on the latest version of Bubble. We recommend upgrading your application in settings tab. Okay. Upgrade to access this feature. Scheduled releases can be used to upgrade, blah, 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 blah. So I'm actually not able to publish or deploy this. And it's like making me do whatever it's wanting me to do. I can't even do it. Upgrade to deploy. Okay, so look, if you look here, let me go back to it really quick. Hold on, let's see. Bubble branding, editor only, community support, basic server capacity, one application editor, 30 minutes of log, and file storage. So they do have a free plan, but as I said, you cannot deploy it or publish it from my understanding. Everything on free plus white labeling, access to live version. Yeah, so that's the difference, right? So I was just trying to find the reference here. So here it says on a free plan, so there is a free plan for Bubble, so I don't want to say that there's not. I'm just saying that the free plan is not very useful to me because there's not a live version of my website or my app that I build unless I pay $29 a month, which isn't very expensive, but I'm not even willing to try it because I can't publish it to test it if in the real world anyone would care that I had it. So I like that I could build an MVP with Softr because they have a free plan, a fully free plan that actually allows me to publish it and using my own custom domain. Whereas I can't even access the live version unless I pay for Bubble. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to put these companies down, and a lot of people really, really like them, especially in the no-code community. I hear Bubble's name a lot. I would be willing to try it on like sort of an extended trial where I can publish my app or something like that. But I just don't feel the need to put a lot of time, effort, and work into something that I can't test in the market before I pay for it. That's how I make purchasing decisions. Other people might disagree with me, and many people have, of course, because many people use these different tools. But personally, I don't appreciate the fact that I don't feel understood by these companies that don't allow me to test things. I'm not going to put like hours and days and weeks into building an app if I cannot try to see if anyone cares about it. So if I can't even build an MVP and publish that and have people interact with it, it's not very useful to me. And that's why I prefer Softr over Bubble. So we've talked now, I'm going to just kind of wrap up here. We've talked about the differences between Thinkific and Kajabi and why I choose to use Thinkific over it. HubSpot versus Pipedrive and why I use HubSpot over Pipedrive, or why I chose it over Pipedrive for the Law Students and Legal Tech Fellowship. We talked about Vimeo versus Loom and why I use Vimeo instead of Loom, and Softr versus Bubble and why I use one over the other, Softr over Bubble. And the reason for all of this being what we talked about in the beginning, generosity as a business strategy. These companies understood something very fundamental about who I am as a customer in their kind of thinking about who I am and how they want to sell to me. I don't mind being sold to, and I don't mind paying for something that's valuable to me if I feel that the company is generous and that they understand who I am and what my needs are and how I go about making purchasing decisions. So I'll leave you with this, which is, and before we go on to announcements, which is the brands I'm loyal to understand that I want a piece of cake and I'd like to eat it too before I'll buy the other 5 slices and tell my friends about how yummy they all are. They also understand that there's only one hero in this story, and it's the customer, not the brand or the company, and that I want a 1/4-inch hole, not a 1/4-inch drill. So I think that that's just a super interesting and really valuable kind of takeaway here when we think about generosity, and having it feel authentic, I think, is another point I made here, which is authentic generosity invites genuine loyalty. So I am loyal to these companies. I am affiliates for some of them and partners with some of them because I actually use most of these. Well, you could see the ones that I spend more time or less time on, but that I actually trust other people and people that I recommend things to with this company, because I know that they will treat them generously and that they would actually provide value to my circle. And I feel that they truly care about understanding who I am as a customer. Other companies that do this really well are Gavel as well as Notion. I just didn't quite have enough time to go over every single company that I love, but I do think that generosity as a business strategy should not be overlooked, and that companies have lost my business because I don't believe that they are generous based on the way that they've incentivized me as a consumer. And I don't feel that any generosity that they do have, giving me a free trial, doesn't feel generous, and it doesn't invite my genuine loyalty because they've demonstrated that they don't understand me. So just some food for thought. If you have any questions or any feedback, you're welcome to disagree with my probably semi-controversial critiques of some of these companies. But I also think that if you actually compare and contrast these side by side, that you would see what I'm talking about with this generosity. But if you do have any questions, I'm going to be giving you my contact information in a moment where you can reach out to me and we can have a chat about it. And it's an open dialogue anyway. There's nothing really saying that I'm right or you're wrong if you disagree. So for some announcements, this has been an episode of the Wednesday Build, which I do every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I also drop a new issue of Code Word Hex, which is my free interactive digital magazine that I created with Gavel, every Tuesday, where I talk about different no-code and low-code techniques and tools. I kind of get into more of like a practical building strategy during Code Word Hex, rather than the Wednesday Build is a bit more of like what I've learned sort of conceptually and sort of high concept wise about different building strategies or building businesses and things like that. If you're interested in some of the courses I have on Software and Airtable with more to come on, I just dropped one on Go Full Page, which is a Chrome extension and a Microsoft Edge extension that allows you to take full page screen captures and edit them, which is amazing. Also, Gavel, I have some certification courses at Chromium Academy on Gavel, which is formerly Documate. And as I mentioned, I am the program director and senior instructor for the Law Students and Legal Tech Access to Justice Fellowship, which, as I said, just launched our week 5. So I'm really excited for the students to go through this week. Also, I have a community called Chromium Global. So anyone who signs up for any of my courses is automatically added to this community. And actually, Gavel also has a really great Slack group. So I highly encourage you to join that as well. Thank you so much for being here, all of you that are live with me, as well as everyone watching the recording. The next one will be next Wednesday, the 22nd of February at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The day after that, on Thursday, we're going to have the Lightning Talks for Legal Innovators with Megan Sawtell, who is my business partner for the Gavel certification courses. And then our next topic will be the left turn and the ampersand, specificity, collaboration, and lateral thinking and comedy and what it can teach us. So I'm really excited for that one as well. I think about it all the time. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or via email. My email address is brittany@chromium.pro. But if you'd like to get in touch with me about any of Gavel's law school stuff, you can just email me at brittany@gavel.io. Thank you again so much for your time, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.